Hi and welcome back to another video here on More Pew Pew Less QQ. And today we're going to be looking at a very simple comp. It's Invoker Bastion and it's a level 7 comp that always plays the same. This is just a great comp for both beginners as well as more experienced players, since as a beginner you can force this comp every single game and get really good results with it. And for experienced players, it's just another comp you should know. When you get the opener for it, you should know how to play it. What I want to talk about is when we're going to roll, what legend we're going to pick, and how we're going to itemize the comp. The comp starts off with these 7 units. We're going to be playing the 4 Bastion frontline and the 3 Invoker backline. Shen obviously is a Invoker as well, giving us 4 Bastion and 4 Invoker. And how we're going to itemize our carries depends on what we hit, but how we're going to itemize our tanks is typically the same. We're going to be either building Ionic Spark or we're going to be building Static Shiv on Soraka. Ionic Spark goes on Taric or Shiv goes on Soraka. Taric wants a Sunfire Cape. If we can't build a Sunfire Cape, we are going to build a Morelos on either Nico or Karma. Another nice item is Redemption, as well as any old tank items if you have any left on Shen or on Nico, depending on if we 3-star Nico, or if not, then we put out extra tank items on Shen. Nico's best item is going to be Crown Guard, and after that you can put anything on her. She likes HP, she likes resist. Warmogs is fine if you have a lot of belts. But that's kind of how to itemize the front line. How we itemize the backline depends on if we're going to hit Soraka 3 or Karma 3. Remember, we're re-rolling this comp on level 7. Great items on Soraka would be anything that gives sustain to our team. For example, Gunblade is great on her. Anything that scales into the fight, like Archangel Staff, is also great on her because we want the fights to go long. That's typically what Invokers or Bastions are good at doing. It's just whittling down the enemy. That's why we have a Sunfire Cape, because we know there's going to be a lot of healing and a lot of overtime fights. Then on Karma, another good item could be Rabadons, or you could go for the crit path. Let's say you end up having a lot of gloves, then you could build something like this. But the items, as you can see, we can basically build anything, any AP carry item on Karma or Soraka, and any tank item on Nico or Taric is going to be great for us. That's why we play Buried Treasures, because we can use all of the items we get from it. And most importantly, we want to be playing this comp from a strong position, not a weak position, meaning we're going to go level 4 on stage 2-1, and we're going to be playing around something like Cassiopeia Renekton and another Bruiser, another Invoker, or sometimes we'll get the 2-star Bastion like Ilaoi or Poppy, and we play around that. Augments that are very good for this comp is you want something that gives your team AP or gives your carries AP. For example, Magic Wand, long distance spells is great, tons of stats, anything that kind of gives ability power. Or what's also good is anything that gives sustain, like Martyr, that says that whenever one of your units dies, all allies heal for 10% of maximum health. Another good augment is going to be cybernetic enhancements. If you look at the cybernetic bulk is a great one, or leech. Cybernetic bulk is great because we have a lot of units that end up getting items in the front line. Sometimes I will even put a Thief's Gloves on my Shen at the end if I don't have anywhere to put these gloves. Let's say I didn't go for AP items on Karma and my build looks something more like this. Let's give her another item here. Let's say this was my build, right? And then I would go for Shen with Thief's Gloves, with Cybernetic Bulk. My whole front line is getting HP, and HP stacks really well with Bastions because Bastion gives resists. This is basically the comp. You also want to be prioritizing augments that give your traits their special powers. For example, Morning Light. Let me just show them. What I mean with special powers is Morning Light. It buffs up your Bastions, right? Without giving you Bastion +1. Then another good one is Rejuvenating Flames. And that's going to be allies heal for 8% of their max health. and if they're in a mental hex, they heal for 15% instead. Targon, Stellarcorn's Blessing, all the augments that give you a bonus to your trait. However, what we don't want to be doing is we don't want to be taking Bastion or Invoker +1 because we're not going to be playing around 6 Bastion. And the reason for this is we typically don't really have another great unit to play in the front line to make Bastion. So it's pretty much a wasted augment. When we level up to 8, the units we're going to look to play is going to be Ahri. And if we don't hit Ahri, we're going to be playing Aphelios. So if you can see here, Ahri gives a Sorcerer and Ionia, and Aphelios might give us 3 Targon, but we'll just play him until we hit the Ahri. So there's nothing to put the Bastion crown on. It's very hard for us to play 2 more Invokers here without dropping a unit from our front line, and then we become a little bit too squishy. So that's why it's also not worth taking the +1 Invoker, because then at level 8 we can't play Ahri and we're forced to maybe play Rise. But I would rather play around 6 Invoker than 6 Bastion. If you do get a +1 Invoker and there's nothing else to take, it's not the end of the world. But a better spat to take in this build would be something like the Ionia spat. Here we can stack some attack speed on Soraka, giving her and put a Shiv on her, or we can put a Shojin. Don't be scared to put a Shojin, even though it's Invokers, right? And Invokers gain mana. She still has a 90 mana pool, so this kind of build ends up working really well on Soraka. And what we typically want to do with positioning is if we duo carry them, we want to make sure that they're on the side of the Taric, because we're going to be applying our shred from the Ionic Spark from the Taric if we don't have the Soraka. And if we do have the Soraka, we still want her and Karma fairly close because they'll be targeting the same units and Soraka will be shredding the same unit that she's targeting. So that's really all there is to it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump onto a smurf that I believe is in its placements in Diamond. And just to kind of show you guys that this is very much hard forceable all the way up to Diamond. And yeah, let's take a look at how our placements go. What we can do is look at the openers, look at some of the mid-game fights and our roll downs, and give you guys an idea of how the comp plays out with this very short and succinct guide that we looked at. A few more things to mention about the comp. We're always going to be looking to pick up rods from the carousel or tiers. As you can see, these are by far the most common items that are used in our build. If we remove the spat, then we can see that the rest is pretty balanced. So we'll get the rest of our items mainly from the creep rounds, but from the carousel rounds, we want to be 100% getting rods or tiers. The last thing to mention, the Ixtal hexes, don't worry too much about that if you're a beginner. It's important to put Nico on the wood hex, on the grassy hex, if that's there, because that'll help her to scale HP. And as we mentioned, HP is extremely important with our invokers. But otherwise, you just put Nico on the hex in the front line and Karma or Soraka, depending on which one you're carrying, on the hex in the back line. As we can see here, we are in a Diamond lobby and this account is unranked at the moment. It was, I think, Masters last season. So we'll just play through the placements and see how it goes. So we have our portals. We are looking for something that gives items, and I think Warlord's Palace will be best for us because when we look at portals, we just want something that will give us as many items as possible. We have a lot of units to itemize in this build. Let's just go back to the board here. We can itemize Nico, Taric, Shen, Soraka, as well as Karma. So there's 5 units on our level 7 board that we'll actually like to have 3 items on. That's very unique about this build. I did play this build in preparation a bit on my ELO. I was getting a lot of 3rds, 4ths, and sometimes 6s or 7s, depending if I was hard contested. I'm not sure if you can force this in Masters or GM. It might be something that you'll have to play if there's no one else going for it. But at the moment, there's not a lot of people playing Invokers. I'm going to play our Invokers here, and I think maybe we'll buy the Ilawi. We could play around a Bilgewater opener. If you want to talk a little bit about the openers, a good opener would be a Renekton here with our Cassiopeias and then another Invoker. Or we play whatever else we hit. I think the best here would just be to play these 3 Bilgewater units. So right now, since we're just going to force the comp. If I was playing flexible, I would really consider Sentinel Spirit, since Ionia is very strong in this patch, but this is a guide that's not going to just last for this patch, but it will last for entire set 9.5. So I'm going to take Buried Treasures, because that's what we want to be playing around. So we can slam the Ionic Spark, which is going to be a great item for us, since that sorts out our Magic Pen. We have to have Magic Pen when we play this comp. It's not possible to play it effectively without it. And I'm staying level 3 here just for trying to hit the Bilgewater or Poppy, since we have higher odds of hitting a 1 cost on level 3. But you would be perfectly fine to just level up and go to level 4 here and play another unit. So now that we hit a Poppy, I think I will go up a level here. And we can slam our next item, which will be the Spear of Shojin, and we can collect this Renekton. Guys, this part of the build, it's not that important what you play, but just try to figure out a way to, number one, collect copies of units, and when you make a 2-star, figure out how you can play. I would like to make eco here, as well as go into our Invoker line, so we're going to be playing around that instead, and we can put the Spear of Shojin on our Cassiopeia, and we're making 10 gold. Now the Misfortune was probably stronger, but right now I am more interested in making 10 gold because my board's not strong enough to guarantee a win out through stage 2 here. So rather than trying to win, I would rather just guarantee the 10 gold and also get myself into the right units here, which are the Invokers and the Bastions. So obviously we will take this on a carousel because it's got a rod and it's got one of our units. Otherwise we'll take the Misfortune, and if we don't get that, what can we build with the Chain Vest? Well, Sunfire Cape is great, so we will be taking a belt. If no belt, I think we can just take a Jinx, so that's our only option. That's fine. No Invokers here. Probably looking to do something like this, where we can sell these units and play around the Poppy. Maybe we can just go for a Stone Plate, since I want to keep a Chain Vest open to make Crown Guard or Sunfire Cape. So this guy has Scoped Weapons, Warwick and Rageblade. We were not going to beat that even if we played an MF. So I'm very happy with my decision to make gold there. But since we're not really hitting what we need to be hitting. So now we hit one of our units that's going to be in our endgame board. And we can play that. And at this point I would usually look around to see, am I contested? Looks like this guy might be playing Invokers. Although he's holding a lot of different units and he's going to be going fast 9 by the looks of it, so he's playing Patient Study, so he might not be rolling for the same units we're rolling for. He might just be playing 2 stars, so that means we're not hard contested. Okay, we hit level 5 and we can play just a random Renekton. Generally, Gargoyle Stoneplate is not the best slam in this comp, but we don't have a lot of good uses for cloaks after we get the Ionic Spark. Sometimes it's good to just kill an item that's not going to be that useful. Now we can kind of pivot towards our board. It is wood, so we now have the Ixtal Hex. Now we're able to make Eco. And we don't want to fall too far behind our HP since we're playing a tempo comp. So on level 6, I always do a little roll down just to get my board stable, get that first Taric, maybe get a Karma or a Soraka too, and either play 4 Invoker or 4 Bastion. Nice, so let's sell the Laui here. So remember I mentioned one of the best augments for our comp is going to be Rejuvenating Flames. We always want to look for those trait buffing augments, but not for the +1s, not Bastion Heart or Emblem and not Invoker Heart or Emblem. So now we can level up and do a little bit of a roll down. And like I said, that's basically exactly what we needed in this case. And I think we can already look to possibly get off this poppy. Let's see where the other square is. Yeah. Just to stack our Taric a little bit more. And for the stage, just to get some extra HP onto our Taric, we'll be playing 3 Ixtal. But we never want to play that late game because Kiana's not really in our build. But because it's wood, it's okay to play that and get some extra HP on our Taric. And then when we hit Shen and Karma, the Kiana will go out. We typically don't roll for the Emilio. As 3-star, we go for Soraka or Karma, as well as Nico or Taric as our 3 stars. So to simplify things, I'm just going to sell the Emilio now, since I want to make this beginner friendly, and having too much going on can be a little bit confusing. So here we can see this guy is still kind of contesting, but he is looking to go, I think, fast 8 or fast 9. Might be difficult since this is not really a comp you want to fast 9 with. We have the duplicator on the bench. When we roll on 7, it's going to help us a lot, since whichever one of the Karma, Nico, Taric we don't hit, we can just duplicate and make. Then we can sit and slow roll for our comp at level 7, like we planned. Love to get the rod, otherwise a tier, otherwise it doesn't really matter. We get the rod. If I didn't get the rod there, I would consider going for a crit glove, since we can always make a crit item later. Alright, so now we'll put our best item that we can on Nico, which is our Crown Guard. We always want to slam Crown Guard if we get this on Nico. And Wood Ixtal is very, very powerful on Nico. We typically going to want a 3 item her in this game. She's going to get a lot of HP at the end of the game. Wood gives 40 health per turn, and at the start of combat, if they're empowered, they also gain 10% bonus max health for that round. But the 40 health per turn, that one stays forever. Even if you remove Ixtal, the champion gets that for the rest of the game. This guy's really hit a lot of his comp already. I think we're gonna lose this fight. He's got a 3-star Chugga, 3-star Vi, 3-star Rek'Sai. You guys can see the power of the comp here. Look at this guy's board, right? 3-star everything, and we're putting up a pretty decent fight, and we just faced this, a full 3-star bruiser board. That's why this is such a strong build. What I'd like to do here is just go up to level 7 already, since it only cost me 1 gold, and then on the creeps, if I have a lot of gold, and then I can see a level 7 shop, and I know I'm going to be playing on level 7 next round anyway. We get another tier. Do we have a Sunfire yet? We do not. Now we can build Sunfire. And we just want to slow roll. I think I'm gonna just roll a little bit. Okay, we hit a Ahri. We hit a Ahri. Now we know for sure we're gonna be playing around the Ahri. And in this case, it might be a good idea for us to save some money, and we can go level 8 and put the Ahri in. Remember I mentioned that Cybernetic Leech is very good for us? Well, I'm going to take that since it gives us health and it gives us Omnivamp, and that stacks well with Targon, and the health stacks well with the Bastion trait. Let's take the Leech here. We are hitting Sorakas. We can almost already make a 3-star Soraka, but we can also hold this duplicator for the Ahri. What I think needs to be done here is we simply need to play the Ori and the Karma, and we just sit. We can go level 8 on 4-5, since we're still in a very good position here. Usually in this spot we'll be slow rolling, right? We would try to hit our Soraka 3. We would have our Nico and our Taric leveled up, and we would be looking for our Shen. But because we got gifted this Ari and the duplicator, I would rather wait a little bit and play around the level 8 board, because when we do get the Ari in, we get 3 Ionia and 2 Sorcerer. Putting this Ari, especially since we already have her best in slot item, the blue buff, is going to be very, very powerful for us at level 8. Okay, this guy's got the boss. We're losing. Especially with our little puny 1-star front line, but hopefully we can kill a few units here before he finishes doing his sit-ups. Yeah, I think we can. Maybe Ori gets one more kill here. Oh, nope. But we're still on 49 HP. Got a lot of health to work with. Rod or Tear is always going to be our best options. We'll take a Rod. Shen would also have been great. In hindsight, I would have picked that. I actually just completely tunneled on Ori items, but I think Shen can come around when we roll, but getting rods for Ori is going to be more important. I think the right choice is Rod there, but I wouldn't blame you for taking the Shen. So now we're just going to try to... We could make the Galio and just kind of sit. I think I'm more interested in... There we go. We hit our Soraka. We have our 4 Invoker, and ideally we're just going to be getting a Shen now, playing around that. This guy unfortunately is lost. He got too greedy, playing Rise as well as the Bull Gate strat, where you go for all 3 of Aurelion Soul's augments. Not really a reliable way to play, unfortunately. And our Nico is still getting HP. As you guys can see here, look how many units we still have left to itemize. We've got 2 slots left on the Ari. Okay, we've got 2 slots left on the Nico and 2 slots left on the Soraka. That's why we love portals which give us extra items. So when Wall of Palace comes up now, I'm just going to take something that can give me basically 5 items. That will be the best possible result. Okay, this is very decent. We get Giant Slayer, Warmog's Armor and Gunblade. Warmog's can go on the Nico. I think this is basically good enough. Now the problem is I have a Rod that's left over. I could try to roll this. I think it's pretty dangerous though. I think I'm just going to take this. And we'll take our free interest here. So definitely going on the Nico. And we will be putting these items most likely on Ari. If we get another Ari. Otherwise we put them on Soraka. And we just wait until we get Ari 2 and we'll move them over. So now we can roll. Unfortunately, we did not get the... What do I do here? Do I sell this? I think I'll just sell the extra Taric. Okay, so now we can display around that. We'll sell this, buy the Nico. Oh, Nico's still 1-star. Oh, I should have bought that and later upgrade. That's my bad. I thought Nico was 2-star and this was going to make me another 2-star. Anyway, not the smartest move from me there. Since now I lost my other Taric. But I'm sure I'll get another Taric here. I should just sold the Galio had I known that was going to be the case. So here I am going to sell the Galio and just play another Taric for now. Without him, since he'll just bounce off when we upgrade. Yeah, I should have sold the Galio and I would have had a 2-star Taric now as well. But I didn't realize that I was still on 1 stars. Soraka just hitting so hard here. Can she fight the boss? Oh no, the boss critted her. If she cast again there, she would have won that fight for sure.
I love Demacia. It's the only place I've been.
Okay, there's our Shen. But now we're stuck in the same situation as we were last round, where... Okay, Nico 2-star is not happening. Nico 3-star is not happening. But now we have all of our traits active here. The next step is just to hit the Ari. Get that Taric back that I so foolishly sold. And then try to upgrade our Shayna as well. Ooh. Best item for me here would be the Rabadon's or the Nico item. We already have Magic Pen. I think I will just take Rabadon's Death Cap here and put that on my Ari. You guys see how difficult it is to play around this comp when you go level 8. It really just doesn't work money-wise. It's just too expensive to also roll for all of these 3 costs and go level 8. This is more of a high roll way to play the build if you high roll Ari. But it actually made the build pretty difficult for me because I just ran out of money and I couldn't buy everything I needed to buy. Like I'm still on a 1-star Taric with 3 items. I want to save my money here. And then after the dragon round, we're going to send it, try to hit a Shen, try to hit a Ari, and get a Taric. If we do upgrade the Karma, these items will come off Soraka and we'll split them up between the Karma and the Ari. Positioning, I don't really care to move much since I have to have my Nico on this square and I have to have my Taric there. What you can do is swap these 2 guys around. Right now, I just want Taric to be applying Ionic Spark to as many units as possible and I don't want him to be taking first aggro. That's why he's in the middle. And we eliminate another player here. It's nice that the Ari has a little bit of vamp from the leech since there is some backline access with things like Zaya that could easily kill a 1-star unit. Her being able to heal back up is quite important. Okay, we get another duplicator, that's pretty nice. Alright, let's roll for our units. Close to Karma now. Okay, we do get the Karma. And I will duplicate this guy. We'll make, I suppose another Nico item would be fine here. Let's put this on our Nico. And after this, we're going to remove the items from the Karma. Yeah, and we're just rolling this guy. And really we can just roll since we're just looking for the Shen or the Ari. So yeah, I'm going to remove. Now the question is, how do I want to, or do I just want to remove these items from my Ari? I think I might want to do that and focus around building around the Karma instead. Let's play like this. I think a 3-star, the 3-star Invokers is stronger than the 1-star, potentially 2-star Ari. And we can always itemize her a little bit. on stage 7, depending on how long this game lasts. But I think for now I just want to be hitting people for maximum damage and be as strong as I can be, since it's no guarantee we find this Ahri. We get one more shot at Ahri here, and otherwise I'm just going to be Nicoing my Shen, and that will do it. Does he have a Jarvan? Yes, he does. Mordekaiser with Skull Weapons. This is a pretty solid setup that this guy has here. The problem is he's stealing my AP from my unit, so it's pretty strong. I think I'll take a Hodge and put that on my Karma. We do hit the Shen. That's nice. See if we don't get the Ahri here. No. We can put Hand of Justice here, and just for the Omnivamp, we can put that there. It's J-Force, unfortunately. Don't think we're gonna be able to beat this Mordekaiser, sadly. Unless we randomly get an Ahri before the end of this game. What if I group like this? Hits the Aatrox too as well. Oof. It's gonna be tough. We don't have the burst to deal with Mordekaiser. I think it has to be Ahri too, and then maybe we get an item on her. And this guy's gonna hit his Scion too now as well. Very likely that he hits. So he's got the Wind Spree and he's got.
I may be merciful, but Cardon isn't.
There's a Scion. And that's gonna probably do it. Can put Thieves' Gloves and hope for some lucky items on my Ahri. Not really. Sell that. Some a little bit better. This fight's looking a bit better, actually. I think we got it. Jeez. There we have it. That's the first game. I'm not sure if I'll play more for the video. It could get a little long, but if you like this kind of guide where I show the comp and then show some gameplay, please like and subscribe, and I'll be doing a lot more guides for set 9.5 as well as in the future. Thanks for joining me here today, and good luck with Bastion Invokers in your games.